The front door was cracked open. That's the first thing I noticed. Not wide, just enough to whisper something was wrong. Anna never left it open. Not once in 12 years. She was obsessive about locking up, double-checking, even when we were just walking the dog around the block. So I stepped in slow, already expecting something off. Her keys were still on the hook. Purse on the counter. Phone, screen down, no lock screen showing, was sitting next to a coffee mug with steam still rising. I called out, "Anna." Nothing. I walked toward the living room. Everything in its place, throw blanket folded the way she always did, the TV still on the local news. Then I saw it. A plain, white envelope sitting on the arm of the couch. My name on the front in her handwriting. No perfume. No smiley face. No lipstick mark. Just George in blue ink. I opened it. Inside, 4 lines. "You'll read this and want answers. Don't. I'm doing this for you. Please trust me enough not to follow." There was no signature. Just her wedding ring, placed next to the letter like punctuation. At first, I thought maybe it was a breakdown, that maybe she'd snapped. But the longer I stood there, the colder everything felt. There were no signs of struggle. No panic in her handwriting. No rushed mess. This was calculated. Deliberate. Anna left me. And she did it clean. I checked her phone. Locked. Tried the birth date. Nothing. Tried our anniversary. Nothing. So I did something desperate. I went into her closet. That second drawer she always told me not to touch, the one she said was just junk. There were 3 burner phones in it. 2 dead. 1 powered on. I scrolled the messages. No names. Just initials and timestamps. One caught my eye. From 2 nights ago. "It's happening sooner than planned. We need you clear before Friday. Clean break. Leave nothing." Another text from her side. "He won't understand. I know. But I'm doing this for him." I stood there, holding her burner phone, staring at the living room she decorated, the photos on the wall, the life we built. And all I could think was, who the hell did I marry? By morning, the coffee was still in the pot, untouched since yesterday. I didn't sleep. I didn't call anyone. I just sat in the living room with her ring in one hand and the burner phone in the other, replaying that text over and over in my head. "We need you clear before Friday. Leave nothing." She didn't just vanish. She prepared this. So I started digging. First thing I did was check our joint accounts. No movement. No weird withdrawals. Nothing that screamed getaway cash. But then I opened her laptop. It was still logged into our home Wi-Fi. Not her email. Not socials. But Chrome had autofill on. Dumb luck. I clicked through. One tab stood out, a password reset for an old PayPal account. It was under the name Elena Grayson. That hit wrong. I'd never heard that name before. Never once in 12 years. But the email linked to it? That domain was familiar at masoncountytrust.org. I recognized that name. Her hometown. A dead-end county 6 hours away that she hated talking about. She once told me she'd left that place and never looked back. Now she had an alias tied to it. With bank activity. I kept digging. Ran a background search on Elena Grayson. One hit. A property record, 2-bedroom home, foreclosed. Transferred to state ownership after legal abandonment. Owner listed, Elena M. Grayson. Age, 23 at time of transfer. Same birthday as Anna. Except, Anna wasn't born in March. She told me July. I went back through our tax returns. Insurance. Her driver's license. Everything said July. But Elena? Elena was March. Which means Anna lied about her birthday, her name, and her origin. I went to our bedroom closet and pulled out the box we kept for mortgage stuff and property deeds. Tax returns, appliance warranties, all the boring married life stuff. Found a stack of W-2s from her old job before we met. One of them had a shred of something different. Anna Holloway. But underneath, barely visible where the ink had smudged, like someone tried whiteout and printed over it, was Grayson. She changed her name. Sloppily. But what was she hiding from? I closed the laptop. Her words echoed. "I'm doing this to protect you." If Anna had another name, another life, what else did she bury? And who the hell was R? It wasn't just a name. It was a full identity. Elena Grayson had a life. Documents. Tax records. A damn credit history. And the more I typed that name into search engines and database scrapers, the more I saw just how much Anna, or whatever the hell she wanted to be called, had scrubbed clean. But she missed one thing. There was a storage unit rented under Elena's name in Mason County. Small town. Remote enough that people still paid cash. The address came up in an old USPS forwarding log linked to her name. I had to pull every string I could with a PI buddy to get that breadcrumb, but once I had it, I didn't wait. I drove out that night. 6 hours. No sleep. No plan. Just a bolt cutter, flashlight, and the keys to a marriage I wasn't sure ever existed. The place was a tin shed in the back corner of a rotting facility just outside a church. Mason County self-storage. Barely a sign. The gate didn't even lock. Unit 33B. Inside? Boxes. 10 of them. Neatly labeled. Dated. I opened the one on top marked 2008 to 2010. Inside, old notebooks, receipts, expired credit cards, and photos. Stacks of them. One caught my eye immediately, blurry but unmistakable. Anna, or Elena, sitting on a park bench beside a man I didn't recognize. Hand on her knee. Her head leaned on his shoulder. Laughing. There was a kid in the photo too. A girl, maybe 6. Same black hair. Same jawline as Anna. And the kicker? She was wearing a necklace I bought Anna 2 years ago that she swore she'd never seen before. My lungs locked up. I dug deeper. Another photo, this one clearer. The same man, now standing behind Anna with his arms around her waist. She's visibly pregnant. In the corner, a date stamp. 2011. We met in 2012. The box underneath was labeled Legal Docs. Inside, a handwritten custody agreement, never notarized. A restraining order petition against the man in the photo. And a printed ticket stub for a bus to Atlanta, dated 2 months before Anna and I first met. That was the reset button. She didn't just move to escape a town. She fled a man, a kid, and an entire identity. And she never told me a word. I sat on the concrete floor of that storage unit until my legs went numb. Photos scattered around me. All this time, I thought I knew who I married. The loyalty, the laughs, the love. None of it included this chapter. The woman I called my wife had lived a full, dangerous life without me. And now I had to figure out whether she left to escape it again or go back to it. I left the storage unit with 3 things. A photo of a child, the name Elena M. Grayson, and a rage I couldn't contain anymore. Back at home, I spread everything out across the kitchen table. The photos, the fake IDs, the custody papers, Anna's, Elena's, entire second life. How do you grieve someone who's still alive? How do you even begin to understand why they looked you in the eye every morning, kissed your forehead, and made you eggs, knowing damn well they were hiding a child from you? I zeroed in on the little girl. The photo was almost a decade old, so I started doing the math. She'd be about 14 now. The custody paper named her Maya R. Grayson. R. Could it be the same or from the text thread? The person Anna was messaging? I plugged her name into school registries, county court logs, even Facebook. Nothing. Until I reverse searched the photo. Somehow, through a Reddit parenting thread from 2013, I found the same photo. Same bench. Same man. A username was tagged at grfatherhood88. I clicked. Old blog. One of those fatherhood journey types that died off years ago. But on the last post? Sometimes, you don't realize the people closest to you are just ghosts playing human. If you're reading this, you won. For now, I opened the user's profile, traced it to a burner Gmail, ran that through my friend's private database link. Bingo. Richard L. Moreno. Age 44. Last known address, Mason County, GA. No convictions, but 2 restraining orders filed against him, one from a former partner. Guess who? Elena Grayson. So now I had a name for R, but I wasn't sure if he was the threat or the one being threatened. 3 days later, I was parked outside a public middle school in Clayton County. Not proud of it. Didn't want to be that guy. But when the final bell rang and the crowd of kids spilled out onto the steps, I saw her. Jet black hair. Freckles. That same tilted smile as Anna. I didn't approach. Didn't say a word. But I snapped a photo. Same necklace. Still wearing it. Still holding on to a mother who no longer existed in my life. That night, someone broke into my car. They didn't take anything. Not the cash in the center console. Not the dash cam. Not even my phone. But the printed photos I'd left in the glove box? Gone. And on the windshield, in a fat black Sharpie. Stop. That was the moment it shifted. I wasn't just looking for a lost wife anymore. I was digging into a secret someone was willing to bury me over. The message on my windshield was sloppy. Rushed. All caps. Dripping slightly from the morning dew. But it said everything I needed to know. I was being watched. And I wasn't supposed to know that yet. I drove straight to a hardware store on the edge of town. Picked up a ring of security cameras, 2 wireless motion sensors, and a signal jammer for my garage. I installed every single one that night. Not for Anna. Not for closure. For survival. That same night, I heard it. Not the usual thump from the ice maker. Not the creak of an old house settling. A click. Front door latch. I was in bed, but I had the feed open on my phone. I tapped into the front porch cam. A man in a hoodie. Not moving. Just standing there, staring at the door. One hand in his jacket pocket. The other holding something small and white. It was the photo. The one I'd taken of Maya. I burst out the side door with my old framing hammer, heart ready to punch out of my ribs. But by the time I got there, gone. No tire tracks. No footprints. Just that photo. Torn. Dropped on the mat like an exclamation point. The next morning, my email pinged. No sender. Just a subject line. You were warned. Inside? A single .mp4 file. I played it. Shaky camera. Per lighting. Looked like a diner's back lot. Anna. Sitting across from a man. Not Richard Moreno. Younger. Well-dressed. Like someone from her job. Her hand touched his wrist. He leaned in. They kissed. Timestamp. 1 month before she disappeared. I closed the laptop slowly. Like it would explode if I moved too fast. So not only did she lie, not only did she leave, not only did she bury a child and a second life. She was cheating on me before any of it happened. And now someone wanted to make sure I knew it. That night, I got a call. Unknown number. No caller ID. I almost let it ring out. But something in my gut said answer it. I picked up. No hello. No breathing. Just 3 words. Her voice. George, stop digging. I froze. Where are you? Silence. Anna, don't hang up. Just tell me why. Why all of this? But the line clicked dead. And I was left staring at my own reflection in the black screen, realizing I wasn't chasing a truth anymore. I was chasing a woman who'd already decided how far she was willing to go to keep me from it. After her call, I didn't sleep. I just sat there with the phone pressed against my knee, staring at the frozen security feed of my own damn porch, half expecting another visitor. But no one came. No knock. No car. Not even wind. Just the silence of a man realizing his entire marriage had been a lie, and the lie had teeth. Next morning, I tore through her laptop again. Not for messages. I'd already scoured those. This time, I dug into her files. Hidden in a folder marked W2 Archive was a spreadsheet. Boring title. Unremarkable name. But it was encrypted. I cracked it using her old password, the one she used for her Spotify account, the name of a dead end. What popped open wasn't music. It was a series of transactions. Monthly deposits. Same exact amount every 30 days. Cinder, Langford Consulting Group. I'd never heard of it. So I looked it up. At first glance, it was a dead end. No real online presence, just a shell registration address in D.C., right outside Capitol Hill. But when I called a contact and records from my old contracting days, he laughed. Langford's not a business, George. That's a Fed-run payment front. Witness protection stipends. What the hell are you mixed up in? The room spun. Witness protection? Was Anna in WITSEC? And then it clicked. The fake name. The child. The custody documents. The burner phones. The storage unit. Untouched since she left Mason County. She didn't just run from her past, she was relocated from it. And the man in the photo? Richard Moreno. He wasn't just an ex. He was the target. That night, I reopened the photo of Maya. I stared at it until my eyes burned. Was Anna protecting the girl or herself? I opened the document dump again, but this time I followed a paper trail through a series of utility payments. One led me to an off-the-books rental apartment on the far side of Riverdale. Leaseholder? R. Moreno. I drove out there around midnight. I didn't care anymore. If someone was going to kill me for snooping, I wanted to look them in the eye when they did it. I parked 3 buildings down. Walked the alley. Third window on the second floor, faint light. A silhouette. It wasn't Richard. It was Anna. Hair longer now. Thinner. She looked tired. But it was her. She didn't see me. But she was holding someone. A young girl. Maya. Alive. Smiling. And for the first time, I realized. She didn't leave me because she stopped loving me. She left me because someone else never stopped hunting her. I waited until morning. Didn't sleep, didn't move, didn't even blink too long. I just sat in my truck, half covered in dew, watching the lights in that apartment flicker on and off. I didn't want to surprise her. Didn't want to kick in a door. Not this time. So I waited. Until she came out. She stepped out of the building in a plain hoodie, sunglasses, hair tied up. She looked like a stranger trying not to be noticed, and I guess that's exactly what she was. She didn't see me until I was standing 10 feet in front of her. She stopped mid-step. Frozen. I held my hands up. Anna. Or Elena. Or whoever the hell you are. Don't run. She didn't. She didn't speak, either. I know about the storage unit. I know about Maya. I know about Richard. And I know about the money coming from Langford. Her jaw tensed. Just once. But it told me everything. I didn't come here to drag you back. I just want to know, was any of it real? She blinked. And finally said something. Not here. We sat in my truck. She didn't touch the coffee I handed her. Didn't touch me, either. I wasn't supposed to stay gone this long, she said finally. Langford told me I could build a new life. I just didn't think I'd fall in love with someone in it. So what was I? A safe house in human form. She flinched. You were the first person I didn't have to lie to. Until the past started calling again. She told me everything. How Richard had been part of a drug and gun-running crew tied to local law enforcement in Mason County. How she'd been forced to stay silent after witnessing something she shouldn't have seen. How she testified, fled with Maya, and was relocated with new credentials. I didn't think he'd find me. But last year, someone sent me a photo of Maya. At school. Wearing her necklace. With a note. Nice charm. That's when she started packing up her second escape. The man you saw me with, he's not a lover. He's my handler. I only kissed him because we were being watched. It was a signal that we'd been burned. My hands were shaking. Why didn't you tell me, Anna? Because if I had, you'd be dead. She looked at me now, finally, eyes raw. George, you weren't part of this. You were my piece. And I dragged you into something I never escaped. I didn't speak for a long time. Then finally. So why call me? That night. She swallowed hard. Because I wanted to hear your voice one last time before we disappeared again. And now. She opened the door. Now I pray you disappear from it too. She stepped out. And just like that, she was gone again. I should have left it there. Closed the book. Walked away. But after you stare into the face of a woman you swore you knew, only to find a stranger behind her voice, you don't sleep right. You don't move the same. You sure as hell don't forget. I drove home in silence. Her words played on loop in my head. You weren't part of this. But I was now. 2 days later, I got a package in the mail. No return address. No markings. Just a plain manila envelope sitting in my mailbox like it belonged there. Inside. One photo. It was me. Taken from across the street. Standing on the sidewalk outside her Riverdale apartment. Camera angled through a windshield. My face turned just slightly. Clear enough to confirm it was me, but not obvious to anyone else. Scrawled on the back in red marker. Should have listened to her. I bolted upright and swept the house. Checked the windows. The doors. The attic. Then I checked my phone. 3 missed calls. Blocked number. Voicemail. I pressed play. Nothing for the first few seconds. Then a voice. Male. Gritty. Calm. We gave her the out. She didn't take it. Now you're on the list too, George. Hope she was worth it. Click. That's when I realized. I wasn't just collateral anymore. I was a liability. I met with my PI buddy again, Sean. The same guy who'd helped me find the storage unit in Mason County. I need to know if anyone's running me through databases. Pulling property records. DMV, anything. He didn't even blink. You're already hot, he said. 3 federal pings on your name. 1 flagged by Homeland. George, this isn't just witness protection. Someone buried a ghost, and you unearthed her. So what do? You disappear. Before they make you do it the hard way. That night, I didn't go home. I slept in my truck. parked near an overpass with a clear view of the road in both directions. I had my grandfather's old .38 under the seat, and I kept one eye open. But I couldn't stop thinking, if they were watching me now, then who the hell else had they been watching before? Who else did Anna lie to? And who else was going to bleed for it? I waited 3 days before going home. Didn't tell anyone. Took back roads. Swapped cars with a friend from the crew I used to work with. No digital trail. I even left my phone in a gas station trash bin in Jasper. The second I pulled into my driveway, I felt it. That itch at the back of your neck when something's off. The curtains were wrong. The lock on the side gate was clipped. The garage door was cracked just enough to let in a whisper of air. I stepped inside with my hand already on the grip under my jacket. The house was silent, but something was waiting. On the kitchen table, next to the cold, rusting remains of a coffee mug I'd left behind, was an envelope, cream-colored, my name written in looping cursive. George. It wasn't mailed. It wasn't taped shut, just folded. I opened it like it was going to scream. Inside, one page. Her handwriting. I'd know it anywhere. If you're reading this, it means I couldn't stay long enough to say what I should have. And it means you're already too close to what I've spent 15 years running from. I need you to stop digging. Not for me, but for Maya. She's not safe if you keep pulling on threads you don't understand. There's a name I never told you. The one who started all this. The one who turned my silence into survival. His name is Calderon. If he finds out you're looking, it won't end with a warning. You'll vanish, and Maya will grow up wondering why everyone around her keeps disappearing. Don't be a hero, George. Just live. That's the one thing Calderon's people can't fake, can't fabricate, can't erase. Please, live. No signature. Just her writing, slanting harder near the bottom like her hand had started to shake. I sat in that kitchen until the sun rose. Didn't move. Didn't cry. Just sat there, thinking about every moment I believed we were building something real, and how she'd been holding it all up with hands that never stopped trembling. Calderon. The name meant nothing to me at first. But Sean? He knew. You ever heard of Project Glaive? He asked me later. No. Good. Don't Google it. Don't say it again. But if Calderon's name is in your vocabulary now, you better burn that letter and bury that name. Because you're staring at a ghost that even the feds pretend doesn't exist. Too late. Because I already looked. And what I found, well, that's where things stop being about love or betrayal and start being about survival. By the time I learned what Calderon really was, it didn't matter how much I wanted out. The fire was already spreading. Sean didn't tell me much. He couldn't. But he said this. Calderon isn't a man. Not anymore. He's a code name for operations that never existed. They use it when someone's alive but not supposed to be. Or when someone vanishes and nobody's allowed to ask where they went. Anna didn't just testify against a cartel. She flipped on someone embedded so deep, the government couldn't prosecute without blowing up their own back channels. And I had married that. I had made breakfast with that. I had almost built a family with that. But here's the thing that hit me hardest. Maya wasn't Anna's only secret. Anna had been part of a program. She hadn't just escaped. She was recruited. Sean showed me a redacted file, burned through a contact who owed him from a weapons case years ago. Elena M. Grayson, a.k.a. Anna, had been leveraged by federal operatives as bait. Not a protected witness. A controlled asset. She'd agreed to stay planted. To seduce, observe, and deliver intel from small-town networks tied to regional arms smuggling. Mason County was her fourth location. I was never the goal. I was the cover story. But something changed. Somewhere between our Sunday mornings and our backyard talks about Costa Rica, she'd cracked. She tried to leave. They denied her request. So she ran. And when Calderon's people caught wind, they offered her a choice. Return, or they start removing liabilities. Maya. Me. Everyone. She disappeared to protect me? No. She disappeared because she knew she couldn't protect us both. But here's the twist they never planned for. After her warning letter, after Sean told me to go dark, after I burned the photo and locked the house up, I mailed something. Not to her. Not to Calderon. To Maya. A photo of her and Anna from a decade ago. And a note. When you're old enough, ask what name your mother whispered when she thought you were asleep. That's the woman I knew. That's the woman who loved you. Then I vanished. I signed over the house to a foundation. I bought a second-hand RV. No social, no cards, no phone, just dirt roads, paper maps, and the kind of silence that feels clean. 6 months later, I got a letter. No return, no name, just one line on the back of a gas receipt. I never faked you. Not 1 second. That's all I needed. Because love, real love, isn't just about trust. It's about survival. And some stories don't end in courtrooms or coffins. They end with a man learning that the woman who broke him was the only one who ever tried to save him.